It is July, and I started this book in February. But I just feel like it was a very I am woman, hear me roar. I just should have DNF'd it. But trials or games, high stakes, and maybe a little bit of romance. This book is definitely for you. I just had to suspend a lot of disbelief for this book. Hello, fellow book lovers. I saw a video not too long ago about My Name Picks My TBR, and this creator had picked a book title that began with each letter of her first name. So her name was Sarah, it's Sara. So she picked a book that began with an S, that began with an A, began with an R, began with an A, and I thought that was really creative. I wanted to do something similar, but I want to read authors that share my name with me. So my name Abby or Abigail. I don't really read a lot of authors with that name. Yes, Abby Jimenez is very popular, but other than that, I don't really see a lot of people publishing under Abigail or Abby. So I did a little research and I found a couple books available through Kindle Unlimited, and I've started reading them, and I wanted to take you guys along on the journey. I've started reading The Moonflowers by Abigail Rose Marie, and there's an audiobook that accompanies the ebook through Kindle Unlimited. This book is about a woman named Tig, and Tig is an artist, and she is commissioned to paint a portrait of her grandfather in memorial of the town that he served as mayor. So she goes to this town and she really likes to know her subjects before she paints them, and so she decides that she needs to talk to people around town, and one of them mentions the only person that really knows him is the woman that murdered him, and she lives in the geriatric psych facility. So she ends up going to talk to this woman. Her name is Eloisa Price, and she starts learning about Eloise and her life and her relationship with her grandfather, and just how this town has been full of a lot of mysteries because there's a bunch of women that have gone missing. Eloise seems to have a hand in all of it. I am about halfway through the book. I'm really enjoying it. I am really loving the way that it's written. Like, there's parts in there that say the autumn leaves are purring, and it just like gives me this like warm, cozy feeling. It's not really a cozy book, but like just the way that she describes the fall colors, it's very beautiful. I will say that since I'm about halfway through the book, Tig has not really found out the reason why her grandfather was murdered, like the motive behind it, but she is uncovering that Eloise was a herbal medicine woman, and she did help a lot of women with abortions. So definitely trigger warning, large trigger warning for a lot of this book. But if that's something you don't want to read because it is talked about a lot, I would highly recommend that you skip this book. The reason why the book is called The Moonflowers is because there are a lot of beautiful flowers that grow in the area that Tig is staying in, and they only bloom in the moonlight. And there are these beautiful white flowers. Eventually, the women that do come to Eloise for help, she ends up nicknaming them the Moonflowers. But I'll check in once I am finished with the book and let you know what I think. So I ended up finishing The Moonflowers by Abigail Rose Marie. I ended up giving this book 3 stars, and I feel like I'm being a little generous even now. There's a lot of feminist rage in this book, and honestly, they kind of turn Eloise, the murderer of the grandfather, into a martyr at the end. I didn't really like that. And then I really don't like what happens to Eloise at the end either, especially because Tig spends all this time getting to know her and focusing on a relationship with her, and for what? You know, I do feel like Tig doesn't really have a personality, unfortunately. Nobody in this book is very likable. They're either all gruff and unapproachable, or they treat Tig like crap, and I really don't like that. I feel like she needs somebody on her side. Her dad is on her side, but her dad's not really even in the book. He's in the book for maybe like a chapter or two. I think Eloise and Tig do have a good relationship, but again, Eloise is very gruff and almost like surly towards Tig, and I didn't really appreciate that. Like, yeah, she doesn't need to tell Tig her story, but then again, at the end you kind of find out that she wanted Tig to be the one to come visit. I don't know. I just have very mixed feelings about this book. It wasn't terrible. It was good pace. I liked the setting. I thought that the description of the town and the fall setting was beautiful, but I just feel like it was a very I am woman, hear me roar, and I'm gonna be angry at the world kind of book. So do with that what you will. The next book that I'm picking up is called The Nice Guy by Abbi. This is on Kindle Unlimited, and it is about an office work romance, but it is set at a veterinarian's office. And I've already started this. I'm about 25% into the book. So we are following Madison and Ivan, and they are our main characters. Madison is coming from Dallas. She worked at a large practice there, and then she moved to Sunshine Falls, Texas. Totally a cutesy little romance town. She's moved to Sunshine Falls to join her uncle's practice, and he has decided to let her take over his practice. And Ivan, he has been at this practice for years and years, and he thinks that he should be partnership. So there's kind of this like animosity and also getting to know each other. It's not giving like 5-star feels. It's not giving anything like that because it's not very deep, to be honest. And every freaking chapter, both Ivan and Madison, because you read from both of their perspectives, are, oh my god, they're so hot, but I can't have them because of this reason. Like Madison was dumped and got out of a bad relationship, and she had to move from the whole city of Dallas. I don't know if any of y'all have been to Dallas, but it is freaking huge, and she's afraid that she's going to run into her ex in Dallas. So that's why she moves to this tiny town of Sunshine Falls. And I'm like, girl, I don't even know if the author's been to Dallas, but girl. Another issue that I have is that Ivan, he is at this practice and he never actually officially went to vet school. At least that's what it alludes to, because he says he's never left this town. He's never been outside of Sunshine Falls. He's never lived anywhere else. And so that really irks me, because you would have had to leave town to go to college. Anyway, I know it's a fiction, but it's just that is just driving me bonkers. Hopefully, it's not going to be a super slow burn, and hopefully I will be able to see some more action soon. So I will update you guys probably about halfway through. Guys, I have to be honest with you. I don't know the last thing I said about The Nice Guy, because it is July and I started this book in February. I literally have been trying so hard to finish this book, and I finished it and I gave it a 2 stars. I just should have DNF'd it, but I was like, okay, like it would hook me because there would be super cute moments with like these cheesy little incidences that occur, like she gets attacked by chickens and I don't know, and he saves her, and it's cute, right? It's really cute. But at the end, I was like, why did I waste my time? Like little cute incidences occur that kind of build their relationship, but for the most part, it's just like, oh wow, they're hot. Oh wow, they're gonna date. Like, there's no real actual chemistry beyond that, because in the very beginning of the book, they're constantly fighting. Like, it drove me crazy. And then his family is huge and they work all over town, and they pop up very conveniently, might I add, all throughout the book, like basically kind of forcing them together. So I don't feel like there's actually like organic chemistry if everybody's telling them to be together. Oh yes, and the whole time that this is going on, the uncle is out of town. So he goes out of town for like a month. So all of this occurs within a month of them knowing each other. That they're like, oh yes, I love you. Oh yes, we're business partners. Oh yes, like let's just make our relationship public. They are also dealing with like almost being sued, and that just gets swept under the rug conveniently. She just threatens the guy that's doing it, who happens to be her ex. No, you're corrupt, and I have blackmail on you for doing these crappy things in our previous business together. So just drop this, what you're doing to me. And he does. And that's the end of the book. Also, as somebody that worked for a vet clinic, there are very few veterinary schools in the US. And this guy would have had to leave his hometown. And that's like his big thing. He's like, I've never left Sunshine Falls. I love it here. I have never left, and I want to be here for the rest of my life. Bro, you would have had to leave to go to college. Like, What? And my big gripe with Madison is she left Dallas because supposedly Dallas wasn't big enough for her to not run into her ex. Like, are you kidding me? It's freaking Dallas. I don't think this author understands Dallas. I just had to suspend a lot of disbelief for this book. And the reason I gave it a 2 stars instead of a 1, I did finish it, and there were some cute moments, like very unique, cute moments between the two of them. But other than that, I'm like, what the heck? And even their care that they provide to the animals is just really weird. In the very last chapter, the male protagonist, Ivan, talks about, oh yeah, the poor dog was coming out of anesthesia and he kept walking into the wall, but I let his owner take him anyway. No, no, not fresh out of surgery. Like, you're gonna recover that dog at your clinic. What if something goes wrong? Like, oh my god, guys. Just the amount of disbelief. I couldn't do it. Clearly the author has not had experience working with animals, or didn't consult somebody that has experience working with animals, because oh my god. Anyway, I finished it. On to the next one. I will let you know what I'm reading next when I pick it up, because I don't think my library sent it to me yet. So,
what you want? What do you want? What do you want? Goofball. What do you want? Are you telling me something?
hello! It's been about a month since I finished The Nice Guy by Abbi. The reason that I'm not reading these books back to back is because I still want to enjoy my time reading. I'm very much a mood reader, and I think if I give myself a sign reading, I'm just not going to want to do it. I did end up picking up The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. The Games Gods Play is about a woman named Lyra, and she has been cursed by Zeus to be unlovable. She ends up working for a group of thieves as a clerk, and kind of puts up a wall around herself because she doesn't think anybody can care for her. She ends up going to the Temple of Zeus right before they start their announcements of their champions for the Crucible, which is games that happen every 100 years. The gods pick champions to represent them, and the champion that wins, their god that they represent becomes king or queen of the gods of Olympus. Lyra is at the Temple of Zeus, and while she's there, she ends up running into Hades, and he ends up picking her for his champion. Hades has not had a stake in the Crucible in many, many games, so you are following Lyra and Hades through these trials, and anybody that likes Greek mythology, I will admit I'm not a huge buff, but I do enjoy Greek retellings. I think you would enjoy this because there are so many other references, not just the Greek gods themselves, but Lyra's last name is Cyrus, which is the winged guardians of the gods. There's Cerberus that's in this book. There are so many like lesser gods in this as well. It's not just Zeus, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, that kind of thing. There's also Demeter, Persephone's mom. There is Hermes, the messenger god. There's a lot of lesser gods that I would say don't come up very often. And so I've really been enjoying this. I actually finished it this morning, and it left off on a cliffhanger, and she hasn't published the next book. The next book comes out in October. So I would give this book a 4 stars. I really enjoyed all of the little links to true Greek mythology, including like Pandora's box and stuff like that. It left off on a cliffhanger. There is like a slow burn romance in this. There's a little bit of spice at a certain point, and it seems like Lyra is always in danger. So if you like books with trials or games, high stakes, and maybe a little bit of romance, this book is definitely for you. So that concludes this series of Letting My Name Pick My TBR. So I've read 3 books by somebody named Abbi or Abigail. Actually, I've technically read more than that because I also read a couple little Abby Jimenez books in there, but we're not going to talk about those. So I read The Moonflowers by Abigail Rose Marie. I read The Nice Guy by Abby Sabine, and now I have read The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. And I'm glad that I did this challenge. It was definitely unique. These were definitely not books that I would pick up otherwise, and I'm glad that I branched out and tried something new based off of my name. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these books in the comments down below. And if you don't know what to comment, comment an author with a similar name to yours that you would try reading based off of this challenge. I will see you guys soon in a new video. Happy reading. Whoo! I have no idea what that was. That was scary. The dogs aren't worried, so I guess it's not a ghost. I don't know what the hell that was. Sorry, my husband's doing lawn work and it's really distracting. Jack, I think, is for Teddy. I don't remember what the uncle's name is. A month? Holy cow. Okay. He besmirched her, or he smited. Where is it?